How does a GUSHU Sheng Pu'er from Bingdao taste? In this video, Brian and I are going to taste this Bingdao 2013 to find out for ourselves and for you how Bingdao tastes. So let's get started steeping. Hi guys, this is Gabriele from nannuoshan, where we share the pleasure of drinking and discovering genuine farm tea. If you're new here in our channel and you're also looking to expand your tea knowledge and brewing skills, then make sure to click on the subscribe button. And if you are enjoying watching the video anytime, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. As you see today I'm not alone, I am with Brian. Hi Brian.
Hi guys.
And because you know Brian from previous videos, I like actually to share my pu'er with Brian, and I just got a new Bingdao Sheng Pu'er from Berlin, from our warehouse where it was stored, and then I thought let's drink it with Brian to find out how it tastes before we put it online. Actually, by the time you watch this video, it should just be online, so check it out. So Brian, I think as a very beginning we could start giving some information about the tea so that you guys can localize and maybe put it in the frame of your pu'er world, and then we start steeping and discussing it.
Sounds good.
Fine?
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, where does it come from? Surprise, surprise, it's come from Bingdao. Bingdao is a village in the Shuangjiang county. Shuangjiang is located in Lincang, in the Lincang prefecture, which is in the center-west of Yunnan, actually. Yeah. And in the Shuangjiang, I think Bingdao is pretty much in the north, in a valley. It's located pretty down in the valley.
Okay, so what's the altitude?
The altitude of, the valley, I think the river, it is about 1,300, 1,400 meters. The village itself is slightly higher, 1,500,
okay.
But you have quite high mountain next to it where all the tea gardens are. So I think next to the garden, I don't know in feet though. But
yeah. It's okay.
But next to the valley, basically, you have mountains that goes up to 2,000 meters, which is a little bit higher than Denver.
Yeah.
So here we are at how much? 5,000 feet.
Yeah.
So it's probably about 6,000 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we said about the origin. The factory is called Shuangjiang Mengdai Tea Factory. It is a factory because the pu'er is mostly done in factory, but it is a relatively small size.
Okay.
And this was important in the selection because since Bingdao doesn't have a lot of tea, you don't want to have a big company offering it because it's unlikely to be the real thing.
Yeah.
Right, because they have to manage larger quantities. What does Bingdao mean? We say it is the name of a village. That literally translated means ice island. Yeah, it doesn't mean that in Bingdao is cold and it's not an island, but actually Bingdao sounds like a word in the local dialect that refers to the typical bamboo construction that they had back in the days in the village.
Oh, okay.
So in fact I think that years ago Bingdao was called in a slightly different way, and then they have kind of not westernized but mandarinized the local dialect in Bingdao.
Sure.
The tea was harvested in early spring 2013.
Okay.
So it is as of today about 6-7 years old.
Okay.
And it has been stored all the time in Shanghai until last spring.
Okay, cool.
And we say this GUSHU, so it means it is from ancient tea trees.
Yeah. How did you find it?
How did I find these? Well, it's a little bit of, there is a story behind that.
Yeah.
A few years back, I haven't been in Bingdao yet, so I still to visit Bingdao. I've been a few times in Yunnan, but not in Bingdao. And a few years back, we were visiting together with Caroline a tea shop in Shanghai, a tea shop for my Pu'er, tea shop for my friend. And Caroline ended up buying this tea.
Okay.
I have to say at that time I didn't buy it for myself for two reasons. It was really expensive and since was Caroline already buying it, I asked myself why should I?
Yeah, why?
Yeah. And then the next year I kept on drinking with Caroline from time to time and I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
And so when I back last year back to China, I asked actually my friend if she had still had this tea actually on stock, and she had that. And and that's why
You got lucky.
Yeah. And actually I bought the entire shop, so I told her, give me everything you have. So we have these 200 grams Bingcha and also 400 grams Bingcha.
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
All right, guys, so what else to say? I think we have a look at the leaves.
Let's dive in.
Well, what do you want to do? Teapot, Yixing, or Gaiwan? You choose.
Let's do the guy one first, because I know the Yixing is very well seasoned.
It is.
And I don't want it to
to influence the taste. Okay,
let's put the taste to me. Yeah.
Let's put the Yixing aside. That's fine.
Yeah.
So let's do like that.
Let's do the Yixing after though. We'll do.
Yeah, we can do this afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Bingcha is not yet used, but is already open. Oh. Because I just did a video about how to break a Bingcha, and I used this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So we have it here.
Yeah, so just from the leaves, it looks like it's... Did you break it horizontally across the whole cake?
Yes, correct, yeah. So you see...
So it's not too tight of compression either?
No, it's not,
okay.
Yeah. It's not compressed by machine, because you would really see, this press machine. I don't think so. It's a very small factory. Yeah, that's the leaves here.
Okay.
There is a quite good amount of buds. I mean, just on this side you can tell there is quite a few, and even in the center you see some buds, which is a good indication, right?
Yeah, and it's not overly bud heavy, which some cakes will overdo it. This looks pretty balanced.
That's true, and also sometimes what you have is that in the middle of the cake they put lower quality leaves.
Right. Yeah.
But here you see that it's kind of consistent. Yeah. Okay, let's take. Well, we don't need to weight it, right? You are going to steep, so you take as much as you want. Here you go. Go ahead. Yeah. You want all these?
Yeah. It's a pretty good cross section, right? This is middle leaves and outside leaves.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Good. It's a lot though.
It's too much. Well, otherwise, we have a lot of loose leaves, so you can.
Oh yeah, great. Okay.
Oh.
Let me just break a little bit off of here.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then I want about 2/3 of this much.
Okay.
So I'm gently kind of pulling these apart without breaking too many leaves, hopefully.
Right.
And I'm just going to steep about maybe 10 grams, maybe a little bit more than that actually.
It's quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how it is. So is that enough, or do you want more of these?
It should be enough.
Should be enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is both the interior of the cake and the exterior, so we have a good profile. The exterior tends to oxidize a little faster than the interior, so you want to have a good cross section, which we have.
So Brian has also quite some tea knowledge. I mentioned actually in the first video we had, but Brian is the founder of the Colorado Tea Society, and that's the way we met.
Yeah.
When I joined you in one of your monthly tea tasting, and ever since we meet us every couple of weeks, maybe once a month at least, and have tea together. And Brian is very much into Pu'er, into Sheng Pu'er.
It's my favorite. Yeah.
So
if you're ever in Denver, stop by.
Of course.
Colorado, yeah. We'd be happy to host you.
Come to one of our meetups.
Yeah.
Okay, we have you want to cook the water even more? We can
we'll heat it up a little bit. Sure.
Okay. And while the water is warming up, well, first of all, before we start steeping, which is your background? How well do you know Bingdao?
Yeah, so I don't think I have tried this village yet.
Okay.
I've tried other villages, not this one.
Okay.
So Banzuan I've tried.
Yeah.
Which is fairly different, right?
Yeah. That's Manjuan is one of the 6 famous tea mountain. It is in the eastern part of Sichuanbanna.
Right. Okay.
And is a completely different taste, that for sure. Yeah. What else did you try?
Labanzang. Or
Labanzang. Yeah, Labanzang is also in Sichuanbanna on the other side of the river.
So
very different taste. So it's good. I mean, you are new to Bingdao, and Bingdao is not very common. Yeah, it's very famous, but it's just a small village, so it's very hard to find it.
Right.
And in fact, for me, was one of the criteria. Right, I wanted to be sure about the Bingdao and its origin. So let me tell you a little bit more. You can go ahead steeping.
Oh, okay, sure.
And then I tell you a little bit more about the history of Bingdao and the history of me and Bingdao, because I was seeking a Bingdao for quite a couple of years now, but I never dare buying one because I wasn't sure of the region.
Mhm.
So first of all, Bingdao, we say there's a village in Xishuangbanna, sorry, not in Lincang, and we have historical proof that tea was cultivated in Bingdao since the 15th century. So
nice.
it means that the oldest tea trees that we have there are about 500 years old already.
Right.
Some of them. There are people saying that there are also thousands-year-old trees. I don't know that, and I'm pretty sure there is no historical written proof of that.
Okay, but there could be wild gardens or
There could
gardens
be,
they forgot
but
about, you know.
this tea is about that is for 500 years ago
Okay.
in this historical literature that
Sure.
is available. Is written that actually the seeds, or actually I've heard that the seeds came from EU.
Okay.
Okay. I have to say I'm not 100% sure about that, and simply because EU 500 years ago wasn't that famous. He became famous in the 18th and 19th century. But whatever, I mean, at least we know that the cultivation started at that time, back in the days. But Bingdao was never really famous. It was always used for local production, and it is actually about in 2012 to 2014, the tea from Bingdao became so popular in China, and the price rose so much in a similar fashion like Laobanjiang actually. There was the steep or just the wash?
That's a steep. I
That's
watched it. That's the steep.
That's
It's just a few seconds,
Okay.
just to see what happens.
And so I said it's just 2012, 2014 is not a long time ago. And what I wanted to know is actually the origin of the tea. So we said it is from 2013, and the company is a small company. I think it was founded in 1996.
Okay.
But I mean, not 100% sure, but definitely before the Pu'er hype. And what was very important for me is the relationship, since I didn't went directly in Bingdao, but I had this friend of mine sourcing directly for us from the farmers. What was important for me is to understand the relationship within her and the factory.
Yeah.
And she has been sourcing tea from this factory since 2010.
Oh wow.
Okay. So because the factory produced also teas from other from other tea gardens in Shuangjiang County, it's focused only on that specific county, and the factory is in the county. So the fact that she has this relationship for 10 years, that she has been buying tea from them before Bingdao became famous, raised my level of confidence that is the real thing. And on top of that, I've been drinking this tea for a year and even more with Caroline, and I know that at least the taste is really good.
Yeah.
And now that I mean, we can start drinking, and then I tell you more about that.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Oh, it smells really good. It's very floral, I think.
You can smell the honey.
Wow.
Sweetness.
Tell me what you think. And when you tell them what you think about the tea, I go and catch 2 samples that I want to show you.
So I'm thinking, so the first thing that strikes me is it's very smooth, round mouth feel, and there's a little bit of effervescence. And sweet, very balanced. Individual notes, I guess a little bit of floral and a little bit of fruit juice, almost like an apple juice.
Yeah, I think that's a good association with the apple juice. I like that. It's juicy, yeah.
Yeah.
And fruity.
That's a really good descriptor. Yeah, juicy.
I mean, we have to say also it's the first steep, right?
It is the first steep. But, you know, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but the leaf is fairly broken up. So, you know, it's not a lot of tight compression.
Yeah.
Meaning, after the first steep, all the leaves have separated a little bit, so you're getting most of the full flavor. I think the second steep will still be a lot different, but
that's same.
For the first steep, though, no bitterness at all, 0.
Yeah, no bitterness. That's true. At least for us that are pretty used to bitter taste. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be comfortable giving this to somebody who said they didn't like bitter teas, or even said they didn't like Pu'er. I would be comfortable giving this to them, even if you have to tell them, not tell them it's Pu'er until after they try it.
Yeah, yeah,
And then you
that's
say,
true. Yeah,
"Do you
yeah,
like
yeah,
it?" And then if they like it, then yeah. I mean, I could compare this to, like I said, a fruit juice, but for tea wise, you might say something like a really, really light green or even a white tea, somewhere in that range, that has the super light flavors, the sweetness, but then it has the extra depth that Pu'er tends to have.
Let's try the second steep to see
yeah.
how it is. And actually, you mentioned before that you have tried tea just for a few villages. Manjuan, you mentioned Banjiang. Now, it is also that, it's not that tea has been branded for coming from a specific village for long. Actually, everything started in 2008, right after the collapse actually of the Pu'er hype in 2007. So before that, Pu'er was mainly blended between different gardens.
Yeah,
so there was not this hype of getting a tea from a specific place, and that's why company and producer never really branded tea according to the village. They gave fancy name to the tea, but after that they started doing so, and that's why there was this renaissance, if you want, of Pu'er that came along Laobanjiang and Bingdao actually.
Yeah. And a lot of it might be marketing, and it's really good that you have such a good connection, because anybody could call anything from any village. So it's important that you know who's buying it and that you have a relationship of trust.
No,
especially if you don't have the experience of drinking a certain village over and over enough to where you can trust yourself and your own taste buds. All right.
Shall we already do another steep and we put it in another bowl so that we have that? Like the third one.
Yeah.
Oh, you have some leaves there. It is relatively soft, like if you compare with Bulang, Banjiang, all these teas that are very powerful.
Yeah.
It is soft, but for me it's still quite mouth-filling. Like it's not thin, it's not watery.
Yeah. A little bit more, almost like a black cherry. Like the juicy flavor has changed a little bit. It's a little bit more pungent now, which is great.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit more texture also. And
a little bit of stringency.
What I wanted to show you is two other samples that I have here.
Oh.
These two. So now that I told you the story about Bingdao, read what is written here. Is Bingdao 2000, Bingdao 2006 here. Of course, that's my writing, and actually if you read here, I even wrote the name of the seller where I got this tea. So this tea, I got it 2 or 3 years ago when I was visiting Fangzhou. Fangzhou is the largest tea market in the world, in Guangzhou. And why did I go there? I go there because they have a lot of heicha. Yeah, actually, if you want to buy aged heicha and aged Pu'er, that's the place to go, because if you go to the country of the region in Yunnan, they might not have enough on stock because they sold everything. But in Cantonese places like Guangzhou, Hong Kong, even in Taiwan, you can still find quite a lot of aged stuff. And so I went there, and in this shop, for the first day they gave me a Bingdao 2006. They were saying it was a Bingdao 2006, so I tasted it, and actually was fairly good. It was expensive, but the taste was good, and they were telling me a little bit the story and so, and I said, okay, the taste is good, is expensive, but not too much. Let's see if it's worth buying or so. So I tried to get a little bit more information. The next day I went back to them, and they gave it to me again. And to me, it tasted different than the first day, so that was already a little bit alarming.
Yeah.
And after that, 2006 is very, very borderline, because I told you before that tea got the name of villages starting from 2008.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a line that you draw, so it is more or less 2006 could also be. Yeah, it's not too far away from 2006, from 2008, but it's very difficult to have a Pu'er from Bingdao from 2006 because at that time the production in Bingdao was not used to make single cakes, but was mixed with other places in factories. You don't have that. And then later on the second day, when they realized that I was a little bit doubtful about what they were telling me, they gave me the Bingdao 2000, and that for me was the end of the story. Actually, they wanted to give me that just to say, you know, we have even something better than that. Yeah. And then I say, okay, that's the end of the story, because if you pretend having a Bingdao from 2000, that cannot be. Yeah. Where did you put my third steep? That one. Okay, so I'll take the second.
This is the fourth steep too.
And you know, in the smell at the beginning, I was saying it's floral, but now, to me, is rather fruity.
Yeah.
And it gains a little bit more strength. Also now starts gaining, even in the second steep, a little bit of astringency, but very mild so.
It does, but I mean, you said this is pretty young tea, so you'd expect that. And I think, in my experience for my short, I haven't been aging, but for a few years, but astringency is a good thing if you're going to age the cake, because it turns into more complexity and depth of flavor later in the age of the cake. So it's not a bad thing.
You know, there is a saying in China that I mean, I cannot say it exactly how it is, but the main thing is that in Pu'er, aging change bitterness into mellowness. So they say that if a tea is not bitter enough, it won't develop into a good aged Pu'er.
And bitterness also is a great balance. So if it's just flat sweetness, it's a boring tea, right? You could just drink grape juice, and white grape juice is fine, or apple juice, but you want some kind of complexity and some kind of levels to the tea. So when you're drinking, you're not just getting straight sweetness or straight bitterness. You want complex blend, so it's interesting, and then it changes over the steeps for sure.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and you know what we can do? I mean, we've tell you a little bit of information about Bingdao. We've done already 3 steeps. What we can do is we can steep the rest of these in the Asian teapot just to see. An influence, as you said. And what we can do also, we can take one of these 2 Bingdao. I mean, pretended being Bingdao, just to try.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. I'm confident that the age is not wrong, because in Fangzhou they have been from Hong Kong, they have been collecting tea for quite some time, so it's not unusual to have Pu'er from 2000 or 2006. That's not an issue. It's just the origin doubtful. Yeah. So you pick up one.
Hey, let's go for older. Older is better.
So we take the 2000, we steep these in another Gai one. We steep these in the Asian teapot, and we are back to you in a couple of minutes. So we're back. In between, we have already done a 4th steep out of the Gai one, and this will be the 5th steep. And I have here the Bingdao 2000 that we will do in this Gai one here. This table is getting a bit busy. That's a bit too big. Let's see if there are. But you see, also the color is already fairly different than the other one.
Oh yeah.
So it is gold. By the way, this is
2000.
And this is Fangzhou storage, so Guangzhou. It's very humid, very hot.
And 2000 is now 20 years ago.
Oh right.
We're now in 2020. So this is old
2020. Tea. It's a 20 years old tea. What do you think? Is enough? You want to put a bit more than that?
A little bit more, maybe, yeah.
Because the Gai one is not large, but here we go. They were a bit disappointed because they had already taken out all the Bingsha they had in the warehouse, and then I didn't end up buying them.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, okay.
So this is 5th steep in Ye Zhong.
And this we
the actual
of the real Bingdao.
Yeah.
And this is what we think is a fake one.
Which could still be good tea, just probably isn't Bingdao.
We do first of all a rinse. I mean, it's 20 years old. By the rinsing it. All right. how it is the fifth steep with respect to the other.
That's good. I want your opinion before I pollute your.
Oh, come on.
with mine. No, it's still fruity. Actually, it's becoming more and more citrusy. More of the really high note, bright flavors. You know, if I did this again, and I probably will after the video's done, but I think I would steep it for maybe a little longer.
But that's just because Brian really like, you know, power steeps, you know. It depends how much you are comfortable with bitterness, right? This is not a very bitter tea, so it's definitely a good tea if you're not, you know, keen to have a lot of bitterness in your mouth, but we are, and we don't care very much about bitterness. It's also, I mean, it comes with the time, right? But a very bitter tea, very bitter pu'er is probably not the best pu'er to start with, just because the bitterness might scare you in a way.
And I think I want to say it tastes more minerally, but I think it's the Ye Zhong that I'm tasting. Because when you brew with Ye Zhong, it gets the minerals from the clay and the tea.
Yeah, now we mixed up things. Yeah, usually we don't do that, you know, Gaiwan and Ye Zhong.
Yeah, but it's good.
Look at the color. It could be a black tea, actually.
Yeah.
Let's see how it tastes. I think your cup is out of the camera. Put like that. Want to leave the leaves?
Smell this leaf. Oh yeah, that smells wet stored.
Yeah,
that is very musty.
And you know, it's I say this Fangzhou is Guangzhou is the same kind of weather at Hong Kong, which is very famous for this humid storage that personally I don't like very much. And
I do like it. So it's just a
matter of taste.
It's a matter of taste, and it depends what tea too, because some teas take wet storage better than others.
I still know where this shop is. If you like it, I can ask them to get. I don't know how much they sell it though.
Wow, that is. It tastes like seaweed. Tastes like straight nori.
A little bit.
Yeah. That is intense.
It's not too moldy.
No, it's just
not too moldy.
Very, very oceanic. It just tastes very much like I'm eating sushi.
It's not the ocean there, but there is the sea. I mean, Guangzhou is a harbor city. So,
wow, that was powerful.
They're so different.
Even it has the depth, and it's very, very, very savory. I mean, extremely savory. And I don't know if that's the storage or the leaf, but
mushrooms. I smell a lot. I taste a lot of mushrooms.
Oh yeah, wow.
That's mushroom, wood, forest, a slightly bit of camphor,
a little bit at the end, yeah. But it's almost. I know I'm about to try this. I think after I drink this one, I'm not going to be able to taste this one anymore.
That's amazing. Yeah, you taste this one, and this is like water.
Yeah. I can't.
And now I cannot tell anymore. But a difference also is that this, also because of the wet storage, is a bit less pure than the other one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The pureness of taste that is not so easy to achieve in Pu'er is quite different. Yeah. Also, Shanghai is a completely different climate for storage.
Yeah. So when in a wet storage like this is really wet storage. You tend to taste the storage. I think is kind of the difference between dry storage and wet storage. You taste the musty, you taste the basement, you taste, in this case, seaweed, and you lose out on those lighter, more delicate flavors that you would normally get in a dry storage.
And this is why I actually don't like wet storage, because if I taste the tea, I want to taste the tea and not the cellar where it was stored.
Yeah.
But I mean, I say this is a matter of taste. So, guys, we're giving you an overview about real Bingdao, GUSHU, maybe a fake Bingdao, we don't know, but definitely a tea from year 2000, so a 20 years old tea. I hope you have enjoyed this sharing, and I hope you will have the opportunities also to share tea with friends, because drinking with friends is much more fun than drinking alone. Thank you very much for watching. You know, if you're new in our channel, go ahead and subscribe it, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye guys.